Okay, today we're going to put together a pumpkin bread. I mean, it's fall, it's time to use up all those pumpkins that we're getting now. To put all this together, you're going to need 2 bowls. If you don't use a stand mixer today, I'm just going to use some bowls. We're going to pour our wet ingredients into our dry, so use the larger bowl for your dry ingredients so you have plenty of room. But all the ingredients I'll put down below. I'm basically using 2 cups of flour, 2 teaspoons of pumpkin spice, a teaspoon of baking soda, a half teaspoon of salt, 1.5 cups of pumpkin puree. Make sure it's pumpkin puree that you're buying if you're not making your own, and not pumpkin pie filling. Because the pumpkin pie filling is going to have all the sugar and all the spices and everything in it. We don't want that. It's going to overdo it. So make sure it's pumpkin puree. Half a cup of a light oil. I'm using a light vegetable oil. If you don't want anything like an olive oil, it's going to get the flavor. So you want something that you basically can see through. And then 1.5 cups of sugar and 2 eggs. So let's put all of our wet ingredients together in this bowl and get them all mixed up. I love fall. I love all the fall vegetables coming on. I like the cooler, crisper weather, even though I'm in Florida. It gets a little cooler, maybe 5-10 degrees, and believe it or not, you can tell the humidity goes down, so it's not like up north, but we do get a little bit cooler. So let's put the oil in the pumpkin, and like I said, we're going to do 2 eggs. And I should be cracking these in another dish, but everything looks good in that. Actually, I will do it just in case. And that looks good as well. So we got all of our wet ingredients in here. Let's get those mixed up together. Break up the eggs. Make sure you get this nice and mixed. This, including the sugar in baking, you always want to use sugar as the wet ingredient. So let me get my 1.5 cups of sugar. Add that in here. Just want to get this incorporated really well because it's going to go into the dry ingredients and you want it to mix together well, not have clumps of sugar or clumps of the puree in there. So once you get all the wet mixture together, looks like it's pretty good there, we're going to get the larger bowl and we're going to get the flour. We're going to get 2 cups. I'm getting both. What I like to do is just fluff up my flour a little bit because you don't want it packed down, especially in baking. It's going to make a difference. It's going to make it a lot drier if you get too much. Just get it in there a little bit and then swipe off the top. We're going to get 1.5 cups. Get my 1/2 cup. There we go. We have our 1.5 cups of flour. We're going to add in pumpkin pie spice. I showed you earlier in another video. It's also on our website. Put it down below. Make your own pumpkin pie spice. It's so much better. We're going to put a teaspoon. Oops, that's a tablespoon. That's going to be way too much. Let's get the. Now I got my 1/2 teaspoon. I'll just do 3 of those. 2, 3. I'll put in our baking soda and about 1/4 teaspoon of salt. I like using the pink Himalayan. So that's about 1/4 teaspoon. You want salt in it because that's going to bring out the flavor of everything. Let's get that all mixed together. So we got our dry all combined here. And I use an all-purpose flour. You don't want to really need to use a self-rising. It has the baking soda or baking powder in it. So I just use an all-purpose because I'm putting baking soda in here. So now let's combine the dry and the wet. Get it all in there. I grew up with my mom's nut bread, banana nut bread, pumpkin bread. In the fall, that's all we had all the time sitting on the counter. It was great. And the nice thing about these breads is you can freeze them. So if you make too much, you can stick it in the freezer. You have one to pull out when friends come over. And you always have something extra. All right, let's get all this incorporated together. I'm just going to, usually this could do in one large loaf pan. I've got 2 smaller ones here, so I'm going to try that and see how high it rises in there and see how it bakes. And like I said, we're going to do this in a 350 degree oven, 45 to 55 minutes, but like, you know, everyone's oven's different. Check it at about 30 minutes, see where you're at. You do want, just like any other cake or bread, you want to be able to stick a toothpick in it and make sure it comes out clean. And if it does, you're good. All right. This looks well incorporated. See a little bit of flour there. Let's get that out of there. Okay. Okay. And there's some flour hanging on the wooden spoon there. Let's get that incorporated down too. Okay, I've already prepared the baking bread pans. So we're just going to split this between the two. All this out of there. And that's Brody. He's saving me again from either the mailman or the FedEx delivery driver or Amazon. I've always got something coming from Amazon. You know what? This looks like it's a little too little for 2 pans, so I'm just going to fix that and I'm going to put it all in 1 pan. I thought that it was going to make enough for the 2 because this was a smaller pan than I usually use, but obviously not. There you go. It actually makes 1. Like I said, I'm going to put this in a 350-degree oven. I'm going to check it in about 30 minutes. It should be about 45 to 55 minutes to bake completely. I'll check it with a toothpick, and when it comes out, I'll get back to see you. Okay, y'all, the pumpkin bread came out. As you can see, it has sank a little bit in the middle. It looks a little bubbly. It didn't cook up smooth. I figured out what I did wrong. I used self-rising flour, and then I also put the baking soda in there. It puffed up really fast from the baking soda and the extra in the flour, and then came down a little bit. It's gonna still taste great. It just doesn't look as pretty. As you can see, it's got bubbles and everything all throughout. And when I took it out, I accidentally slammed the door and it sank a little bit. But it's still going to taste great once we slice it. So give it a try. Let me know what you think. And I'll show you some more pumpkin recipes real soon. Have a great day. Bye-bye.